I still remember when I'm really Onyame Jesus, an Hollywood actor and their top content creator. Don't forget.
Okay, listen, for attention, Africa. I said Nigeria was sold for £865,000 by George Goldie. A lot of people went bizarre. They say, "Can choir, you are barely 20. How can you be telling us a history of 1800? They say, "Can choir, Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914. How come Nigeria was sold in 1800 and 1900? You are joking. But listen, let me educate you because I can see that you are perplexed. Pay attention. Yes, there was no such thing as Nigeria before 1914. Okay? When Lord Lugard amalgamated the southern and the northern protectorate. But listen, that does not mean that the entities, the territories, and the sovereignties that make up Nigeria today did not exist. You have to understand that Nigeria did not fall from the sky. No, it has always existed. Amalgamation is just a ceremony. Now let me explain vividly on what the term Nigeria being sold for £865,000 actually mean. Pay attention. Listen carefully. Pay scrupulous attention. Get a pen and a paper and write it down. It's eligible information. You cannot be taught this in any way. Listen. You see, George Goldie is a British businessman. He established a company in 1879. That company is called United African Company. Now, when the British saw that he has a potential, in the year 1886, the British Crown gave him a loyal charter. Who gave him that loyal charter? The British Crown. What does the Crown represent? The Crown represents who? It represents Queen Victoria. Listen, yes, there was nothing like Nigeria before 1914, but you need to understand that you had territories. These territories existed as what? Empires, as kingdoms, as protectorates. Like you had the Sokoto Caliphate, Ndi Igbo, the Bini Kingdom, the Oyo Empire, the Boni Kingdom, the Opobo Kingdom, and the rest of it. Listen, we're heading somewhere. I've established for you that this territory, this sovereignty, this entity that existed before 1914, that has been established. Now, George Goldie, I've told you about the company he created in 1879. I've told you was given what? Loyal charter. In which year? 1886. Pay attention to paint more picture for you. It was after he was given this royal charter, he was also given military assistance to collect taxes from kingdoms and sovereignties along the river Niger. It was after this that he moved to collect taxes from kingdoms along the Niger who were trading in palm oil. Why do you think that King Jaja was arrested in 1887? This royal charter was given in 1886. It was then that King Jaja of Opobo was arrested by who? Harry Johnston. Because what? A royal charter has been given to who? To the Royal Niger Company. It was after that charter was given to United African Company owned by George Goldie that it was renamed to Niger Royal Company. Because royal charter has been given to it. We are heading somewhere. Follow me carefully. Pay attention. Now, in the year 1899/1900, the British approached George Goldie to buy that company. After, in the next video, I will tell you what really conspired before they buy that company. Just now, the company was bought for how much? £865,000. Now, you will argue, is it Nigeria that was bought or is it a company? Listen, what George Goldie sold to Britain was what? An administrative trading right, a handover of control and authority of the land and resources of the people that will later constitute what is known today as Nigeria. A handover of resources and administrative trading right. Now, when someone trades your resources and your land, what is that called? It's a purchase without you knowing, because as long as they were concerned, this company represented what would become as Nigeria. That was why immediately after this purchase was made, the British moved into Nigeria with full force. You cannot ignore the events that led to 1914 and only talk about 1914. That will be ignorance on a platter of gold, and that gold is not worth looking at. You have to understand that the Western Igbo of the Anioma people have been fighting the British in the Kumeku War since 1883. The war ended in 1914. It was the amalgamation that ended the Kumeku War. Now, when the British had the authority, they have gotten the company that controlled the resources in the Niger. And that's what they needed. They needed to control the Niger because they were controlling the north as early as 1900. I told you in my previous teaching that on the 13th of March, 1903, British soldiers marched into Sokoto Caliphate. That was when Muhammad Ahiru I fled into what? Bumi. They caught him and tied him in Bumi. They took over. The indirect was flourishing in the north. Now they have gotten the business in the south, west, and the southeast Lagos was under their control. Why? Because indirect rule could not flourish in the east. It had failed in the west, worked in the north, and now they have gotten the businesses that they need. They are now in control. You think amalgamation would have happened if the Britain did not get the lands and the territories and the resources that they needed? No. It is this structure, this formation, this bringing together of different kingdoms, empires, and entities and protectorates that enabled them to amalgamate the northern and the southern protectorates for one exploitative interest. You have to understand that the amalgamation was just a ceremony. Before the amalgamation in 1914, the securing of resources and lands have already happened. Don't let amalgamation confuse you. It was the securing of these resources that what led to amalgamation. Amalgamation would have been possible without the securing of these resources.